Hello everyone, welcome to Tech channel. We are continuing learning JavaScript using FreeCodeCamp platform. Let's navigate directly to FreeCodeCamp website where we stopped previously. So if I navigate to this tab here, we stopped in this challenge 141. And in this challenge is asking us now to start use inner HTML instead of inner text, and this will allow you to modify the HTML elements using JavaScript. So in case if we need to get this icon properly displayed inside the HTML, so we have to use inner HTML instead of inner text. So let's do that. Here at the bottom here is asking us to update text.inner text to use text.inner.html instead. Let's just update this here, text.inner.html instead, and then check your code. Congratulations, your code is passed. Submit the changes and move on to the next challenge. And in this challenge is asking us to create a win game function, and then inside this function we need to call update function and passing the 7th location from the locations array. Let's first create the win game function, and by calling the function keyword, then the function name, then parenthesis, curly bracket, then inside here we need to call this update function. And to call a function in JavaScript, as I remember, we need to call the function name, then a parenthesis, and inside this parenthesis we need to pass an argument, so which is this one here, locations, a square bracket, then adding index 6, which should return the locations, the 7 locations. And let's check your code. Congratulations, your code is passed. Submit the changes and move on to the next challenge. And in this challenge is asking us to create the 7th locations, which is not exist yet. We need to add that after this loss location. Let's just duplicate this location and add similar one after it, and then modify the content of it. So we need to change the name of this location to be called win instead of lose. And the button text and button functions will be same as lose location. We need only update the text, so let's use this text instead. Check your code. Congratulations, your code is passed. Submit the changes and move on to the next challenge. And in this challenge is asking us that to update the attack function, so the monster will get a dynamic attack, so by updating the health value instead. So this here, this health instead of this monster level, we are going to use this example here. Let's just copy this example. So this, which means the current health minus the level of the attacked monster, so this will get it dynamically. So let's run the code. Congratulations, your code is passed. Submit the changes and move on to the next challenge. And in this challenge is asking us to create a new function called get monster attack value, and should has a level as a parameter pass through. So let's create that function, and the function keyword, then the function name, and then a parenthesis, and then curly bracket, and we need to pass this level as a parameter to this function. Check your code. Congratulations, your code is passed. Submit the changes and move on to the next challenge. And in this challenge now is explaining that the tag to a monster will be based on monster level, so and the player XP as well. So it's asking us to create a variable called hit using const keywords, and then assign this variable to this value here, and is explaining what this value is here. So this is a monster attack 5 times their level minus the random number between 0 and player XP. So let's just check your code. Congratulations, your code is passed. Submit the changes and move on to the next challenge. And in this challenge is asking us to log out this hit variable. Let's just add a console log to print this, and then check your code. Congratulations, your code is passed. Submit the changes and move on to the next challenge. And in this challenge is asking us to return the hit variable we created in the previous challenge. So after this console log, if you remember in the previous tutorial, we learned how to use return keyword inside a function by calling just return keyword and then whatever you need to return. In this case, we are going to return the hit variable, add a semicolon. Check your code. Congratulations, your code is passed. Submit the changes and move on to the next challenge. And in this challenge is introducing us to the ternary operator in JavaScript, which is the same if condition, but using different syntax, and also explaining that if you notice, if the XP value is high enough, then when you call get monster attack, will get a negative number. And to fix that issue, at the bottom here is asking us to update the get monster attack value function to return the hit variable value using this condition, to return the hit variable only when it is greater than 0, or otherwise by default return 0. So let's update this here. So inside the return, we can add the condition using iteration operator. So that would be something similar to this example here. We'll check if the hit is greater than 0, then add a question mark, return that, then return hit. Otherwise, add a colon to return by default 0. So again, let's recap this. This condition will check if the hit variable greater than 0, question mark, then return the hit value. Otherwise, using colon, then return 0. Then check your code. Congratulations, your code is passed. Submit the changes and move on to the next challenge. And in this challenge is asking us to find the line where the health monster is declared, then update it within a condition, and then inside that condition call is monster hit. So let's look for this monster health inside this function. So this is a monster health. So then we can add this to a condition if, and then add a curly bracket. So we'll add this variable inside the condition. We'll check is this true, then call this function. Check your code. Sorry, there is an error. So this should be the way around. Function call if return true, then try to set this variable here. Update this variable value. And then check your code again. Congratulations, your code is passed. Submit the changes and move on to the next challenge. And by now, this is the end of this tutorial. Thank you for watching and see you in the very next tutorial.